3. This might be one of the favorite movies, not just of the year 2024, but literally my whole life. Let's talk about it. So we got the movie Hello, Love Again is a 2024 romance drama Filipino movie releasing in theaters just in time for the cozy cuffing season of fall and autumn. It's a sequel from the hit movie that came out in 2019, Hello, Love, Goodbye, and this time later, 5 years have gone by. Joy and Ethan reunite unexpectedly only to have a potential chance to rekindle their relationship. What happened in the past 5 years? Why were they separated in the first place? Why did they meet in Canada? Find out as we talk about it. Sorry, it took me a little bit longer than usual to give you this review, but this movie shocked me towards my core and hit me very emotionally and unexpectedly physically, since I can't stop thinking about it, research about it, and honestly it's becoming kind of a problem because all I want to do is find the next great love of my life. I went into this movie blindly, not knowing anything about it other than the photo, the title, and that it was spoken with Tagalog with English subtitles, and I left the theater honestly in tears. Look at me. I'm half Filipino and half Mexican. My mom's from Philippines, my dad's from Mexico. I've had some food and I've had some music and I have some family members, and I know some of the language but not too much. I basically know maybe 100 words. But anyway, this is the first time I see a Filipino movie made by Filipino directors, actors, and creative team in theaters, for the first time ever in my life. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe, first time for everything. Seeing our culture represented and on screen, on the big screen, especially in a well choreographed, crafted movie such as Romance, really resonated with me because the characters are grounded in real life and relatable to such an extent that we see ourselves up there on the big screen with the laughs, with the cries, and hint, of course, the joy. Now, with that little bit of context, I wish I would have done a little bit more research, but keep in mind, for those of you that are new to this channel, I never watch trailers when I go see a movie in theaters. Usually I just see it because I want the first viewing to be magical, and way magical it became. It was incredible, but the reason why it's taking so long to give you this review, I didn't know it was a sequel. Then watching the movie, I knew what the characters were going through. I'm like, this is a sequel to another movie. And yes, 2019. I saw the movie on Sunday. For the whole week, researching, watching interviews, especially knowing that it's not my native tongue, I had to really slow down. But I watched the first movie, Hello, Love, Goodbye, 2 times. I even purchased it on Amazon Prime to give you a better comprehensive review, to delve deep into my characters, because I feel like this movie just really hit me at a right time. It's about to be Thanksgiving here in the States. So sorry if this review is going to be a little bit rambly and longer than usual. I just feel like this is really resonated with me, as such as most of you. Romance plays a big deal in my life. Some of you have known me for the After series or the Disaster spin-off series, but especially It Ends With Us, that literally came with this year. Before being a YouTuber, I went to school to become a relationship therapist, so I went to get my psychology degree. The reason why I say this to you is because I want romance to succeed. A lot of guys get stigmatized online. Oh, he likes romance, he must be a beta, blah, blah, blah. No, I want romance to succeed. I like girls. If I see a girl looking at me, of course I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing? Try to get the number, set up a first date, trying to get a wife. Although I will be critical, I just want you to know where I'm coming from. So what happened? So in the first 10 minutes, and this is not spoilers for you, the movie literally picks up where the prequel left off. Joy enters Canada, and it's 12 hours later, and there's sunny, because she's it's 10 o'clock in Hong Kong, and it's sunny here in Canada. And the first thing she does when she hits Canada is the first minute of the movie, she calls Ethan. So they're still in contact. Whenever because I was like, what happened after that? Did they stop talking, or do they come back? That's what I'm thinking too. So they still keep in contact with messaging, video calls, texting, but I guess I don't want to say the extent of them gets drawn out as you've seen in the movie, but still, it's cool that they still resemble a long distance relationship. Although if you've seen from the first movie, now keep in mind, we will be spoiling the first movie to give you a better comprehensive review for this one. We are not doing spoilers for the second movie in this video review, but please subscribe, because literally tomorrow, before Thanksgiving weekend, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna record the spoiler review for this movie. So we are doing spoilers for the first movie that came out in 2019. But remember, in that first movie, their relationship, because she wanted to go to Canada, was 4.5 months, because she's only 4 months to go, and he's like, I can take whatever you can give. So it does put in a lot of perspective into things if you saw the first movie. Now keep in mind, I didn't see the first movie the first time I saw the second one, the sequel. I don't think it's necessarily an essential viewing, but if you really want to know where the characters came from, I think it's very wise for you to do it. Yeah, the movie second one gives you enough chance for them to see what they're going through, and it does pick up 5 years later, so that could be also a drawn out thing, but still, you should always go back to the original that made their love so special in the first place. But it's 2024 now, and they meet in Canada, as you've seen in the trailers, and they look at each other, they say hello, hello, and that's it. The movie goes through the dark times of what happened, everything in between. Did they stop talking? who messed up, who left who. It tells you everything. So I've seen in the trailers, they see 2024 and it's like the summer and they're at the airport, but then they go their separate ways. Why? That's literally like the first 10 minutes of the movie. The movie gives you a nice job of telling you what timeline are we in. So it's 5 years in the movie, but also 5 years in real life. She left in 2019 and the movie uses flashbacks on the bottom right hand corner. Hint, I'm looking at you. We live in time that felt like more kind of a gimmick, kind of, but still didn't tell us which timeline we were in. Anyway, so the movie tells you if we're in the fall of 2019, if we're in the winter of 2019. And now to give you a little bit 5 more minutes of the review before we actually dive in deep into what we're talking about. Ethan goes to see her in the spring of 2020. In the spring of 2020. What happened in 2020? COVID. And COVID is very much represented in their relationship. When Ethan goes to see Joy in Canada in the spring of 2020, it's literally days before the COVID lockdown. So think about that. He's like, I can't do this anymore because they were still in contact. It says fall 2019, winter 2019, and then spring 2020. That's why Ethan went to go see Joy in Canada for the first time after she left in 2019. And that is a good and bad thing. Joy, present day, she seems like she's doing great in Canada. She's on her second term of becoming a nurse with only 2 more to go. And she has this job offer from Uno, which is another guy, which we'll talk about in a second, to become a nurse with a better pay in New York. But I feel like, and this is just still the beginning of the movie, it doesn't seem like she wants it. It doesn't until later on, which we'll talk about in a second. Ethan, I'm so sorry, on the other hand, it feels like he's not in a good place. He stumbled across Calgary, a city in Alberta in Canada, is very much close proximity to Joy. Joy still feels independent, striving towards her goals, still working on them, but also taking jobs from cleaning jobs as like a side hustle to make more money. Joy resonated with us personally, much of us, because you can see yourself in her, coming from a foreign nation, working from the bottom, also helping the elderly, people with needs. These are jobs that people will not do and something that can do as effectively as her. So a lot of people, especially like Filipino workers, especially for me, not that me, but I know my mom did, like people start from the bottom, especially going to a new nation. I lived here in Chicago, but I started at McDonald's. So nowhere close to the job I have now, but still, we all have to start somewhere. And it's that struggle that Joy had to do because she literally had to leave the love of her life to come to Canada. More about that in a second. Being in the same city and kind of having the same social group of friends, they have chances of seeing each other. Of course, in the beginning, it's not intentionally, but as the movie progresses, it blurs the line of what the characters want and what they say they want. You've been in relationships before. You know someone says, I don't like you. They initially say, I like you. So it gives you a distinct, do this person really likes them back or doesn't? Because people can say and do 2 totally different things. And that could not be more true than this movie. But after 5 years, everything has changed. And even them, they have matured in terms of their characters, also their growth. Catherine Bernardo, the girl who plays Marie, Joy Marie, is older now. She feels more wifey material and also someone that I would love to marry. Hence, maybe why I like the film so much. But she's still a courageous, ambitious, beautiful young woman trying to make it in her life. She literally only had plans to get better in life, to provide for her family, to do the best she possibly can. Like I told you earlier, she literally left the love of her life in Hong Kong to pursue career to next level of her life in Canada and also to provide for her family. Now, some people in the first movie, she says, I promise I'll come back. I watched that movie multiple times and comment below if I may be mistaken. She did promise to come back. Now, let's take a step back. Did she promise to come back to Ethan or did she just promise to come back to Hong Kong? Totally 2 different things. Because Ethan could be somewhere else. He could be literally in a different state or whatever, a different country. So yeah, this is a girl who wants the answers to the questions that only she can answer, which is explained in the movie, but still, she chooses a better life for herself. I think in the first movie, she says something, I love you, but I love myself more. Which of course, in the first movie, it's fine. They were younger. They were like mid-early 20s. At that point, yeah, better your life first, better your connections later with the relations you have flourish later in time. But still, it was hard though, still. I mean, damn, you have an amazing, beautiful relationship, and then for someone to leave to better themselves, it is hard because it's damn, like you should kind of put your, like, I guess aspirations first, but if your love life has to take a dip, which love requires sacrifice, which more we'll talk about in a second, it really hurts. One of the scenes that had my theater gasping, and even the first time I viewed it, was they meet at a coffee shop, right? This is like a small scene and still in the beginning of the movie. Ethan, of course, is there in Canada. He's working as a barista, which of course that's fine because he was a bartender in the first movie. And I kid you not, like the trailers or the people in the theater. She comes up to him and she's like, and I don't know why it hurts to even talk about it. She says, "Can I get a cafe for Joy?" And then Ethan's writing it and he says Joy, and then she's like, "No, it's Marie. Joy is gone. Like, she's dead." And Ethan looks at her. He's like, "Yeah, I see that." And then everyone in the theater was like, like it just felt so magical. And she takes a look at him and she says, "You don't know me, I don't know you. We're just strangers now." And it just hurts because even for me, like being heartbroken, I've had someone say that, exactly that. But also, if you see the context of the first movie, they talk about strangers and how Ethan says it's better to open up to a stranger because there's no judgment. And for her to say that full circle, I'll say it again, "You don't know me, I don't know you, we're just strangers." And the way she says it to it really hurts. It's like, damn dude, like you really hurt her, you know? And if anyone who's ever been hurted like that, that line represents a lot. That was like one of the best scenes in the movie, and it's in the beginning. However, the movie pulls and tugs at your heartstrings as it keeps you guessing on like, will they or won't they? Because as we uncover the layers of what led up to, unfortunately, the reason why they split. She left at 19 to pursue a better life in Canada. She still kept in contact with Ethan, and Ethan goes to visit her in the spring of 2020. They were together until COVID, so they were still together when COVID had the lockdowns, which I don't want to spoiler anything for you because tomorrow we'll do that. The last time they talked was in between of the fall of 2021 and 2024. So there's a 3-year time gap where they didn't talk, which 3 years is a significant amount of time. But still, for them to come back in a situation like this, I'm just setting up the stage for you to understand what you're going to in case you're going to see the movie. But the acting is so phenomenal. You see what happened in terms of the characters with both of their eyes. And I feel like the level of chemistry has only leveled up since the first movie. It's been 5 years. The characters have matured. The actors have matured. We have matured leading into this movie. The chemistry they have in this one is phenomenal because they already have prior great chemistry in the first one in 2019. But also they have grown as individuals, as actors, and even potential romantic partners. But every time you see them together with the subtle eye glance or body like language, I don't know if she's just acting or it's just wishful thinking, but it really did feel like at any time in the movie it could have gone either way. She could have taken him back, they could have rekindled their relationship. Maybe it's hard for her to come back, but the movie gives you multiple scenes, not work based on trauma, but also what someone is experiencing. Literally, they have to do this Canada pathway thing, so they have to be together for a year. And every single time they go out on dates, it's like, does she actually like him back? But Ethan has also clearly changed, doing whatever he can to survive, but also open to the idea of having Joy back. You see through his actions and not through his words, which is very cool because he wants Joy to succeed in his life. Of course, when they start talking again, they start being in the same social group. They do the Canada Pathway program thing, which if you don't know, it's like to get money, residency, so they have to be with each other for 12 years, acting like a couple, feeling like a couple, being online and showing proof that they actually like each other, which is very hard because Joy's character just is difficult to say the least, more in the spoiler review tomorrow. But it's cool that they kind of have a chance to get back together, but they kind of don't because of hurt of what's going on. But it's not like other people don't want them. The movie clearly shows this guy named Uno, as you see in the trailers, wants Joy and wants her to go to New York. But then this other girl character, Baby, wants Ethan. And I guess true feelings are involved because jealousy is intoxicated into there. Sometimes it really does take jealousy, but I'm like, really more talking about in the spoiler review. But still, it's not like they're bad looking people. Other people want them, especially like real life. They're both two attractive individuals. Other people from the same social group or other friends are gonna want your ex because of just whatever. They like them, they have feelings for you, it doesn't matter, you're single. Of course they're gonna want somebody. Just because like they broke up, other people want them. That's what I'm trying to say. So it complicates things as both of them try to navigate each other. Not to mention the beautiful cinematography, although some people online were saying it like it's bad, like it's kind of fake green screen. I'm like, really? They literally filmed in Canada, which is totally different from Hong Kong. Hong Kong is like rustling and bustling, cities, cars, a lot of people. Canada feels more open in terms of the possibilities. So maybe that was the movie that was going for it, but it gives you such a distinct different feeling from Hong Kong, from the first one. As this one, you've seen from the trailers, they have their love, they go on this Canada trip, but also the cinematic score and soundtrack they use to invoke and power up those feelings of emotions, such as the breakups, the cries, and also the possibility of healing and getting back together. Probably really resonated with me more emotionally because yes, it kind of could be repetitive. To be honest with you, I Shazammed the song and it was like 4 times, so maybe they use it in different moments or they just tune it up to be a little bit. But still, the music and score they use when the characters are going through their feelings really tugs at you emotionally, which it did for me. me, which I don't know why Hollywood doesn't do that. It's such as a different, gives you a sense of wonder and reality. Why this style of filmmakers are totally different from Hollywood. Remember, this is made from Filipinos. Like, you know, the actors are from Philippines, which is cool because it also tugs at my heartstrings too, like I said earlier, because I'm half Filipino. Last three things to talk about, and then I promise we'll end. The last three things we have to talk about is one of them is a technical issue and two are subjective. The first is the technical issue. Sometimes when the people are talking, the volume could be literally the same as them. So I don't know if it's overpowering the characters and what they're talking about, or maybe the volume could have been toned down in terms of the cinematic score and soundtrack, or maybe that's the reason why the creators wanted to be like that, to invoke and power up, like I said earlier, power up those feelings of emotions brought into you. I saw this movie multiple times in multiple different theaters. Some theaters did have that problem, but the ones that were consistent still felt like the volume could have been a little bit too high, but then maybe again it wouldn't have impacted me the way it did before. The other one is subjective, so please skip to this time frame because I'm going to spoil mild spoilers. This is mild spoilers, so if you want to skip to the ending of my review, just click here and that's the grade and saying thank you. But basically it just sucks that it's kind of cliche, and I'm sorry to say that. I know it's Filipinos and it's amazing, but the only thing that's cliche is that the guy messes up. The guy messes up. Yes, I get it. In most of my relationships, I have messed up, to be very honest with you. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I'm trying to do better. I don't think I'll mess up again. But it's just like, come on, dude. Why couldn't the girl mess up? But then here's the problem with the girl messing up. Joy wouldn't have messed up anyway. She's driven. She has potential. She's independent. She works hard. There is no way she was going to mess up that relationship. Let's just be honest. There was just no way. So of course, Ethan had to take the fall. But still, that goes into my second subjective thing. The ending, which I'm not going to spoil it for you here. But the second thing is the ending. Joy's decision. There's 4 decisions that she could have made. Stay in Canada without Ethan, but having him nearby. Stay in Canada with Ethan and be in a together relationship. Go to New York, right? Go to New York or go back to Hong Kong, which I don't think she was going to go back to Hong Kong. There's actually a fifth thing. She could go to New York and still be in a long distance relationship with Ethan. But still, what she did, a lot of people, unless, please subscribe because tomorrow before Thanksgiving week, oh my God, it's going to be crazy. We're going to talk about the spoiler review. But the decision she made, I feel a lot of people were like, oh, it goes against her tenacity, the way she's driven, her character. But I'm thinking too, I'm like, did you get the message of the film? Wasn't it about like acceptance and growth and second chances? Like, I'm thinking too, it's a hard thing to ponder. So that's why I want to talk about with you guys in the spoiler review. But that, just letting you know, a lot of people were saying it's controversial. It undermines the character. It's not what she wanted. It's just like, really? Then why did she? I don't know, you know, we'll talk about tomorrow. But at the end of the day, I want to give this a grade A+. I bought the prequel on Amazon and I went to go see this movie multiple times. It really made me cry. And I can't stop thinking about it, researching about it. I even woke up early to do this review. I was awake up all this weekend just thinking about it. I'm like, what am I going to say in my review? This is going to be longer than the after series. I'm like, no, come on, I got to make it shorter. But it really tugged at my heartstrings. And this year is complete. Honestly, I went to New York, Comic-Cons. All I need is romance. And this movie is the power of cinemas that makes me want to do that. If you made it this far, I really appreciate so much. This was a longer review than I normally thought I would be. What are your thoughts on the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down below and please subscribe because tomorrow I'm literally going to wake up and do the spoiler review. Tomorrow's a spoiler review, but today is like the non-spoiler review. But honestly, this is already, I want to say this is the favorite movie of the year, but I'm like, really, it's going to top Dune Part 2 because that's in first place. But I'm like, you know what? It's fine because this is my YouTube and I don't know, this could be in second place. We'll see. I'm going to have to watch Dune Part 2 again. So anyway, guys, we'll talk tomorrow. Bye.